Have you ever come across someone who seems incredibly kind? They're always the first to help those in need. Their actions so virtuous that they seem almost too good to be true. We find ourselves admiring their generosity and aspire to be as noble as they are. Yet, could it be that behind this facade of goodness lies a hidden truth, a motivation driven not by compassion, but by the desire for recognition? Today, we'll dive into a story inspired by Buddhist teachings that explores the duality of human nature, revealing how even the most seemingly virtuous actions can be tainted by self-serving intentions. Along the way, we will uncover practical wisdom on how to navigate such complexities in our relationships and within ourselves. The picturesque village. Nestled at the foot of a majestic mountain, there was a village named Kalama. This idyllic place was a haven of harmony, where crystal-clear rivers flowed and seasons painted the landscape with vibrant colors. The villagers shared a profound bond of mutual respect and kindness. Among them was their revered leader, Sangya, whose reputation for compassion and selflessness was unmatched. Sangya was the epitome of virtue. Each morning, he would walk through the village, greeting the elderly, advising the young, and listening patiently to anyone in need. If someone fell ill, he was the first to bring medicine. If a family lost their home to a storm, he offered his own shelter and food. The villagers adored him and believed him to be the embodiment of true goodness. However, what the villagers didn't see was the hidden side of Sangya's heart. When night fell, and Sangya found himself alone, he would gaze into a mirror and smile with satisfaction, replaying the day's praises in his mind. His good deeds were not merely acts of compassion. They were carefully calculated to earn admiration. The arrival of the sage. One day, the village buzzed with excitement. Word had spread that a wise sage, known for seeing into the hearts of people, was coming to Kalama. The villagers eagerly prepared a grand welcome, with Sangya at the helm, ensuring every detail was perfect. This is my chance to be recognized, Sangya thought. He organized an elaborate ceremony with exquisite offerings and the finest food. When the sage arrived, Sangya bowed deeply and introduced himself, weaving tales of his tireless efforts for the village's well-being. The sage, however, remained silent, his piercing gaze fixed on Sangya. The stillness of that moment unsettled Sangya, as though his deepest secrets were being unraveled. The test of true virtue. The next day, the sage addressed the villagers in the village square. His voice was calm yet commanding. A pure heart is like a clear mirror, he began. But greed, anger, and delusion cloud this mirror, distorting our true selves. Good deeds, when driven by the need for praise or recognition, do not cleanse this mirror but fog it further. The villagers listened intently. Sangya, however, felt a sharp pang in his chest, as though the sage's words were aimed directly at him. To challenge their hearts, the sage introduced a month-long trial. Each villager was to perform acts of kindness without seeking any acknowledgement. These deeds had to remain secret, unseen by others. The struggles within. The villagers embraced the challenge with varying degrees of success. Some found joy in quietly helping others. A merchant apologized to a rival he had wronged. A wealthy woman discreetly delivered food to struggling families. Slowly, the village began to transform as true compassion took root. But Sangya struggled. His every action was accompanied by an internal battle. He feared losing his hard-earned reputation. Even when he managed to help someone without being noticed, the absence of acknowledgement left him frustrated. The three poisons, greed, anger, and delusion, tightened their grip on his heart. The sage observed Sangya's turmoil and invited him for a walk one evening. Under the glow of the setting sun, they stopped by an ancient tree on the outskirts of the village. The revelation. Sangya, the sage began, your heart is clouded by the three poisons: greed for recognition, anger at being overshadowed, and delusion about your own intentions. These poisons shackle you, preventing you from experiencing true peace. Sangya's eyes welled up with tears. But my actions have helped many people. Does that not count for something? Good deeds born of self-interest are like flowers without roots, the sage replied. They may bloom briefly, but they cannot endure. To cleanse your heart, you must confront your attachments and let them go. Begin by observing your thoughts without judgment. In time, you will discover what it means to act from genuine compassion. The transformation. That night, Sangya couldn't sleep. The sage's words echoed in his mind. For the first time, he saw his actions for what they truly were, a means to an end. At dawn, he stood before the villagers and confessed his truth. For years, I have sought your praise rather than your welfare. My kindness was a mask to hide my insecurities. But now, I wish to change. I wish to learn the meaning of true compassion. The villagers were stunned, but Sangya's vulnerability moved them deeply. His confession inspired others to confront their own hidden motives. The village became a place of transformation, where acts of kindness blossomed from sincere hearts rather than the need for validation. Lessons from the sage. Before leaving the village, the sage offered parting wisdom. True virtue arises when the heart is free of attachment. It flows naturally, without thought of reward or recognition. The path to such freedom is not easy, but it begins with awareness. Observe your desires, your anger, your illusions. In seeing them clearly, you take the first step toward letting them go. This story reminds us that the three poisons, greed, anger, and delusion, can cloud even the noblest of intentions. True virtue doesn't seek the spotlight. It shines quietly, born from a heart at peace. Let us strive to cleanse our own mirrors, one thought at a time, and cultivate a compassion that needs no audience. Thank you for watching. If this message resonated with you, please share your thoughts in the comments. Let's reflect together and grow on this journey of self-awareness.